Down across the Democratic Republic of Congo is heightening fears of electoral fraud in the presidential elections already marred by delays and violence. Internet connectivity in the vast Central African state was already disrupted before voters headed to the polls in December. To tell us a little bit more about the situation there and some of the concerns that particularly opposition parties have, we have Sylvain Saluseke, who's a member of the pro-democracy youth movement Lucha. Thanks very much for joining us. Welcome to the program. You must be concerned.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. You must be concerned about this internet shutdown. Government says that it's because people are circulating misinformation which could cause problems. Isn't that a reasonable thing to do?
And this is very, very concerning, and it's a trend that I'm sure we all aware that it's quite common across not only Africa but across the world when despotic regimes try to take over or try to maneuver their way through by force. And this is not the first time for the Congo, neither. We have to go back, just as you pointed out, through these elections where the entire process actually has been marred, not only with violence, but with the government going out of its way to try and forbid or not allowing the oppositions to properly do their campaign. You could recall that a candidate, for instance, such as Fayulu, was not allowed to go to places like Lubumbashi and Kindu, places which are considered to be a stronghold of the government. They were not allowed to rally in Kinshasa neither. And that, coupled with the issues about the elections itself, we used to speak about things such as the fictitious voters on the roll, things such as opening up of the space to allow people to freely campaign. All those is accumulated to a point that on the 30th of December, Congolese went to the poll despite all these issues to go and show the government that actually people have rejected them massively. And I think it's the trend from the result which is actually forced the government now to shut down the internet, not only because they needed the internet first to be able to transfer their own data and informations, but also secondly, a day after or two, they had to shut it down because the trend out of those polling stations was showing that a clear victory by oppositions, where the presidential candidate, or at least the regime candidate, has been shown to have been lagging behind. If not, it has to be by a miracle for them to declare him as a winner. And I think we believe this is the reason why they had to go ahead shutting down the internet with a complete blackout. And the purpose is simple: see how to rig elections, intimidate the people. Already we're being told of movement, of military movement, which have been deployed across major cities, and intimidations being actually leveled or sent toward people such as the head of Senko. Here we have to remember that Senko, which is the Catholic body, had probably the biggest number of observers, and they've been able to tally some of these results. So the head of Senko has gone on record that is being actually bullied or being arrested by the forces, or to be intimidated, so they should not go ahead as well and publish, or at least give what we call la vérité des urnes.
All right, and this goes along with a clampdown, it seems, on media. RFI, the French channel, has also seen its chief correspondent there have his accreditation shut down and the signal unable to broadcast. All of this, are you suggesting, is part of what looks like a deliberate plot by the ruling party to get the result that they want?
Absolutely, Peter. We all know the role that the media plays in any building of democracy. Congo being a young democracy, we would want and would need to see a very strong, not only national media, but also together with any other form of communication that can allow both informations and educations to circulate. The government has gone ahead not only shutting down RFE, which has been shown to be not only a widely received and listened at radio station, but not only that, I mean, you also get local media that were not open leading to elections. You also have local journalists that are being also being pushed and being arrested or even forced into hiding. All that's in the effort for the government to, through the blackout, that they can go ahead and actually show impose their own result as well as imposing their own will. You also recall that one of the media, as I said, which is widely listened at RFE, was actually showing a bit more of reporting across the country. Not only that radio was blocked, but also an accreditation of some of their journalists on the ground has been revoked. You'll also recall that as part of the observers, the DRC government has only allowed the AU and the SADC and few civil societies, Congolese civil society, as observers to these elections. These were in an effort to try and stiffen, to try and reduce the capacity of a vast, bigger mobilizations or deployment of these observers across the country. Our understanding is that the reason of this blackout is purely in an attempt to go and show the different, or force the different result upon the Congolese people.
All right, talking about the results, both sides are claiming victory already, opposition and ruling coalition. What do you fear might happen if, for example, the ruling coalition does declare victory, or if the opposition parties declare victory? What can happen in the DRC next? It's been a difficult journey to this point. What might happen?
I mean, first of all, delaying elections for 2 years and giving the Congolese the type of elections we saw on the 30th of December, it's really ridiculous. We could have done better. However, even through those bad processes, Congolese had to go to the polls to go and show how bad they don't want of this current regime. That is clearly shown. We have done, and this is from a Lucha point of view, with a city such as Goma, cities such as Beni, Butembo, where we've been able to tally all the results. And we have a sort of a very good result today, which can tell us that the government, at least Shadari, has not been able to come close to the second runner. And this is clearly what the government knows, and they're trying now to stiffen. The question is, what will happen if the government goes ahead and declares Shadari winner? It's basically shown itself by what the government is doing right now, deploying militaries across the country in the main cities. Everybody's fearing vote. Everybody's fearing any sort of a violent type of revolt. From a Lucha point of view, we've always believed in a non-violent activism. It's clear that people will go to the street. It's clear that they have to ask the international community to stand with the Congolese people. We've been suffering far enough. People have been killing far enough. We need to stand with the Congolese people to make sure that President Kabila and his regime get to be told, get to be advised that they have lost. People have not accepted the continuation of their ruling, and they have to go to peaceful transfer of power.
All right, Sylvain, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and sharing your insights with us. Perhaps we'll catch up with you again in the coming days. Merci.
Definitely indeed. Thanks again. Merci.
Okay, à bientôt. All right, that was Sylvain Saluseke, who's with a pro-youth democracy group called the Lucha in the eastern part of the DRC, but he's been living in exile for some years now, and he was talking to us via Skype all the way from Boston in the United States. Very concerned are the opposition parties, but the ruling coalition, as well as the opposition parties claiming victory already in the elections in the DRC. We'll keep you up to date on that. I have tried to get hold of the South African ambassador to the DRC. There's the DRC ambassador to South Africa to get to government's position, but we're having a difficulty getting hold of him, and if we do get hold of him, we'll certainly get a government response on this particular story.